Hey guys, I'm Jack and I'm finally back. I've started what I hope is my last year of college and I'm trying to balance a lot. I've got my classes, I gotta study for those classes, I've got work, preparing things for church. Now I also have to make time for these videos. That's a process that takes about a day, so I've got a lot on my plate. And for those of you that have been waiting, thank you for your patience. So at least for the semester, I'm going to be trying to post at least 2 videos a month or maybe one every other week. So we'll see how that ends up turning out, but I'm really going to be trying to stick to that. So today's video is part 2 on why we should love Jesus. But before I get onto the part 2, I want to give a quick recap for what was part 1, in case you guys didn't see it, which I hope you guys did. Part 1 was on the fact that he created us. He thought that we were special, beautiful, and significant enough to be created. But a vital part of who we are is the fact that we have the ability to make choices, but most of the time we make the wrong choices. We choose the wrong things. So despite the worst things about us, God still looked at all of us and thought we were still worth being created. And that's reason 1 on why we should all love Jesus. And that applies to everyone, no matter who you are or the life you lived. You were worth being created. Reason 2 on why we should love Jesus, and the theme for today's video is that Jesus saved us. So, what did he save us from? He saved us from ourselves and from hell. Our natural choices will take us straight to hell. In the long run, we'd use our ability to choose to go to hell. So God created a plan to save us, and that plan only works because of Jesus. Jesus is the one that saves us, and we should definitely love him because of that. John 14:6 says, Jesus told him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me. Have you ever wondered what the goal in life is? I'd say it's getting closer to God, or getting to God. And according to this verse, Jesus is the way to God. Not a way, but the way. The only way to God is through Jesus. There are 2 parts to how Jesus is the way, and they're both reflected in both his life and in his death. With his life, he created the way. So think about like an open field or just a bunch of grass, alright? There are no paths. What Jesus did is create a path on that field, you know? Our goal is to get to God, but in that field, we had no path. So what he did is make that path to show us how to get to God. That's what he did with his life. And not only did he create the path with his life, but he also showed us how to walk on and stay on that path. So how do you walk down that path? You follow his example. His life is an example for how all of us should live life. With his death, he made that path available to us. He opened that path. Because of his death, we are now able to go down that path. So why are both parts important? If Jesus hadn't lived the life that he lived, there would be no way to God. We wouldn't have an example on how to live life. If Jesus hadn't opened the path with his death, nothing we could do could get us to God. Okay, so now we're going to get a little bit deeper. How was his life able to create the way? So the only way we could get to God on our own would be if we were perfect, pure, and sinless. But we're not. We're human and we sin. So we're doomed on our own. So why would we be doomed? Well, God is so perfect, pure, and holy that sin cannot thrive in his presence. Alright, so if us, being sinful, we would go into God's presence, we would definitely not survive that encounter. At least us being on our own. And that's where Jesus comes in. He was able to do what we weren't able to do. He was able to live a life that was pure, perfect, sinless, and holy. Since he's sinless, it makes sense that he's able to be with God. But that still doesn't change the fact that we're not able to be in God's presence. A simple little formula, I'm gonna call it a formula, is sin equals death. Alright? And not just a physical death, I'm talking about a spiritual death. Sin, no matter how small, equals a spiritual death. I'm not gonna get too much into the details of why that is. Alright, I'll probably explain it in a future video. But just know that that's the way it is. Even if you have a little bit of sin, alright, it means spiritual death. So because all of us sin, we should all die spiritual deaths. Because there is sin, someone should die spiritually. However, If there was someone that was maybe perfect, clean, pure, and sinless, we could possibly trade lives with them. Jesus was holy and pure. He was the only one that could be the perfect sacrifice. So he chose to trade places with us. He became the sacrifice and died for our sins. So how was his death able to open the way? By dying for us, God is able to forgive us since we take Jesus' place. Because we've been forgiven, we have been redeemed. Now we have the opportunity to be with God, and it was only through Jesus. Jesus created the way and opened the way with his life and death. Jesus did everything. There's nothing left for us to do. Jesus did it all. The only thing that we can do is to choose to go that way. So I want to ask you, are you going to go that way? It's something to think about. That is how he saved us, and it's why we should love Jesus. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and were able to learn something, or at least be able to see things from a different perspective. If you did, make sure you like the video and share it with someone. For those of you that might be somewhat new to the Christian life and are wondering why we need to live a right life if God has already forgiven us, the answer is right under your nose, especially if you watch this whole video. But I get that some things might not be clear, so I'll probably eventually make a video on that. So if you want to make sure you catch that, make sure you're subscribed. So if you watched my first video, you might remember that I said that I want to have different content, not just Bible messages. So I'm thinking for my next video, it'll be something music related. As of right now, I'm thinking of doing like a little cover on From the Inside Out by Hillsong. I'm not super sure about it just yet. I gotta pray about it and think it over a little bit more, but that might be what it is. So again, if you wanna make sure you catch that video, make sure you subscribe. So again, at the end of my videos, I want to be giving song recommendations, and for today I have 3. The first one is by Jeremy Camp, Jesus Saves. It's a good song. It's kind of old, probably a few years old. It's I guess labeled Christian Contemporary, has a nice feel to it, and good lyrics. Second song is by Disciple, Beautiful Scars. It's a rock song, but it's not a rock song where you would see someone headbanging to it. It's a more chill rock song, but I definitely recommend everyone to listen to this song, even if you don't listen to rock music. Has a beautiful guitar part in it and amazing lyrics. And for the third and final song, it's actually a Spanish song. Decided to change it up a bit. It's by Alex Campos, and the song's called Sueño de Morir. It's this one's like probably over 10 years old. Really, really great song. It's the lyrics are super deep, powerful. Music's really good. And for this song, I'll probably have 2 links in the description. I have links for all the songs in the description, but for this one I have 2. The first one will probably be the original and the official music video for it. The second one is where the singer is talking about what led to him writing that song, and at the end of it, there's an acoustic version of the song. And so both versions are really good, and I just really like this song. And this portion of the video, it's something that I really look forward to. I just really love music. I love listening to different types of music, and so I'm really curious as to what you guys think of them. So if you could please check out these songs, and then afterwards let me know what you thought of them. Comment down below, and yeah. So that wraps up this video. Remember to preach at all times, and if you have to, use words. Love y'all, and God bless.